Hello, and welcome to the Project's Relax Talk. I am your host, Smokey, and joining with me, as always, is my co host, Spooge.
Hello, and Dre, knock it off. Hey, hey,
we
hey,
have.
hey,
uh,
knock it
we,
off.
we have a special
All
guest from Dre.
right. Yeah, being a little bastard of tiny.
Oh no, not Tiny Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'll watch them from here.
well, today is actually not labeled as a extra relaxed episode. We stopped we stopped extra relaxing, as you can say.
It's a high stress time of year.
um,
Our buttholes are tight right now.
very, very. For before we get into the episode proper, I just want to give a little context first. Me and you have been doing our own thing that we've been calling Toonami Night.
Yeah, we watch a bunch of anime together. That's what we were doing when we were watching Cowboy Bebop. We started it with Cowboy Bebop, and just to kind of have some other things to be palate cleansers, so we're not burning through anime.
Yeah, just so we can like, and to be honest, this kind of feels nostalgic for me how we do it, how we've structured it. It's very nostalgic
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, because we don't have, no one has TV anymore, especially if you're a millennial, right? It's the boomer thing. You don't want to pay for that shit when you could pay
Oh
for
yeah,
something cheaper.
fuck yeah, no, it's $200 for cable, and I got rid of
But
cable, and now
but
I my bills are like two
mm,
hundred. Now my bills are $200 altogether.
but there is something nostalgic about cable because millennials also grew up with it because
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
parents had it.
I
But and I feel like that now sometimes with as good as it is having like the choice to watch anything that you want at any time, there's there's just something about having like a cartoon block or like a show block that you just
yeah,
you
some structure to
mm,
your viewing habits. Yeah, I do appreciate that. That is the one thing that I did appreciate about cable is there was some kind of structure. I wish cable would kind of like m- morph more into streaming to where it's not live, to where it's more
mhm.
like streaming, to where for this, and they can do it, even like they can still make it time based, like just have it to where you pay a certain amount of money a month,
I th- I think
and
it
then
definitely will in the future of how things are
yeah,
going.
but it'd still be like during this time, you can watch these certain programs on these certain stations and stuff. It would be very messy, but I feel that it would be better. And this is
Yeah.
one thing that I thought of too, and this is just something that actually probably could still be implemented with cable today. Have a block, even like have Adult Swim or something. Just have like 2 or 3 hours where the TV shows don't get interrupted by cable by uh um commercials, and have
Mhm.
the commercials in between the episodes in general. Like play a full episode, play 30 seconds of commercial. Well, it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So commercials are
Mhm.
long as fuck now. But play the commercial slot and then play another episode instead of 15 minutes of an episode, commercial, other 15 minutes. Just kind of like streamline it just a tiny bit more to where it's
Yeah.
more enjoyable to watch.
Because like in cable now, it's like you honestly like in between shows you get 10 minutes of advertisement, like totaling it all together,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like and it's like two like there's like two periods of 2 minutes that'll take out of the schedule, and like 2 minutes, like two times of like maybe like once or twice of like full 5 minutes of commercials like in the middle of your show too.
Yeah, and that's just super annoying. At least with my idea, that 10 minutes kind of gives you a buffer between
Mm.
episodes so you can actually get up, go pee, get your snacks ready, do what you want to do. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't care. I still don't care for commercials too tough. But I'm not gonna lie. There's some ads that are just really fucking good. Like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna I think it was State Farm. The Mayhem guy.
Yeah.
I love those ads. They're like I don't those are ads that I actively like seek out to watch on YouTube, the Mayhem guy ads.
Hmm.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like I fucking love those ads. And that's the thing. It's kind of good to get advertisements cuz you are aware of the current products and the current trends of today as well. You know, you're
Hmm.
not just stuck within your own little otaku bubble, which can be very dangerous. Trust me, believe me, I know for a fact because before I met your whole family, I can definitely say that I was an otaku and I was in my own little bubble and I believe that's how the world functioned. And y'all just totally
Hmm.
shattered that for me and I'm so grateful for it. Like I was
But yeah,
definitely
there's definitely like uh something to be, because you don't want to lose the art of the advertisement too. Much as I have
yeah.
issues with advertisements, and there's always, even when they're bad, I mean some of my favorite things is just like bad local commercials too when you get them.
Oh, but sometimes the bad local commercials give some decent cringe.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I
Like
love
you
them.
just there is something we're gonna lose. There is a level of art we're gonna lose when it comes to losing cable. That it is gonna hurt seeing gone because by the time we lose cable, we're gonna have what it surmines us to YouTube ads, which YouTube ads are literally trying to get down to 5 seconds so you don't skip them to the point where
Though
they're pretty much useless now.
one golden thing that would happen if cable actually just like went away and like moved more into a streaming thing is that I feel like public access television would actually, like, it wouldn't go up significantly, but it'd go up enough for just people who have a TV and it's like, well, the cable's not even really an option anymore. I just have this TV here for like news and stuff, and then you get all the crazy public access shit.
Oh yeah, that what the public access channels would have they would have no choice but to improve because they would have a bigger audience. They'd have a much bigger
Mm.
audience.
And that's something that like we kind of like no one even really thinks about. I mean, it's still around, but no one's thought about that like even since like
I
late
wasn't
'90s, you know.
I wasn't thinking about it. That's for sure.
And there's like a lot of great. It's fun just to like just like look up public access like oddities like on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, I totally feel
There's so
that.
much that you don't get to see because it doesn't get recorded too,
Yeah.
and borders on the line of like even being okay to be on TV. But even there's so many time slots where no one's watching. So
Uh, I'm glad you brought that up. But yes, that and the reason why we had to get it but we kind of got sidetracked there.
that's fine. It's part of the relaxed stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Going
The
back to
but
Super Crooks, yeah.
yeah, yeah. The reason why we also the reason why we explained Toonami Night was we watched Super Crooks in our Toonami
Yeah,
Night,
we
and
did.
it definitely that because when it comes to current age, I'm definitely used to binge watching anime,
Mm,
and the way we've
yeah,
been
this is. Mhm.
and the way we've been watching it has definitely made me enjoy it a lot more. Like this, I don't know why. It's just a lot more enjoyable than just watching one anime within a day.
There's definitely a balance because like we watch it soon enough that it's still fresh on our mind, but it's not getting it out in one day and then being like forgetting that day, you know?
Yeah,
Which sometimes even with good shows that you can do if you just like absorb all, like especially of like, because it would probably be like what a like 3 hours of content maybe, 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours maybe.
yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Sometimes some well with Super Crooks it would probably be 3 hours.
Trying to think actually.
It'd probably be
Okay,
three
yeah.
to 6 hours. I'm gonna say 3 to 6 because you got to
And then
think
once I
people are
feel
gonna
like
pause and
yeah,
everything.
and I feel like once you are watching something after like 3 hours, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's hard for us just like to retain all of that.
All the
It's
information that
kind of
you're
like
given.
you- yeah, because like sometimes even with and it could kind of go either way. Like especially if like the last podcast does like a super long series, like maybe like a 4 hour. It's gonna be like 4 to 5 hours if they have like four episodes. Like if I listen to all that in one go, I don't retain it as much like as if I like
Yeah,
took it two
that's
at a time.
that's definitely why I'm constantly re-listening to last podcast. That's just I'm getting to the point where I can finally retain the information.
And the one thing because of how we watch Super Crooks too, there's a lot of reading with since we're watching subbed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so much, especially with the heavy dialogue scenes, which I understand. There's why there's because this Super Crooks for we can get into spoilers, right? Let's give a
Yeah.
spoiler warning. Yeah, spoiler warning from here on out. Super Crooks can be very violent.
hmm
They open it up in the first episode. They let you know right off the bat what you're going for, what they're going for, and I love it for that they do that because it as you saw, it literally starts with the simple the electrical person fell into a pool and electrocuted everybody. That's kind of standard
Yeah.
cliche, but then it just like
hmm
amplifies and ramps up to the extreme,
hmm
and that's what the show does in general. It
To the
starts off
point that
gradually.
because at one point they never like alluded to this. I almost thought like at some point like are they going to allude to that bad luck power guy of like maybe being responsible somewhat of that too? Because it almost seemed like it was just like a crazy bad luck of how that all.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but it doesn't seem he was connected to that. I think that was just him having a very bad luck,
hmm
very bad case of bad luck.
Because they didn't really go back to those characters too much in detail anyway. They just were kind of there to be foils of ruining Johnny's life.
Yeah, they just seem to be there to be bad influences, even though
Mhm.
they don't seem to be bad like they're of course supervillains, of course, but they seem to have a code amongst them.
And they definitely, I can definitely, because that's why I could actually like give Johnny some like why it's not like unbelievable of like the decisions he makes of just being like getting caught up in the lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I didn't find any of his decisions unbelievable. I just was upset at him as an actual like if he was an actual person, I'd be very
Mhm.
disappointed
And
in him.
actually, with Casey though, I will have to like point out Casey, despite like she gives mixed signals because she also enables it a lot, just of being like getting him involved with that
She
first mission.
she
She's the
only
one that gets
see
him involved with that like super dangerous mission.
yeah, see, but she only enables it when the take is like an extremely large take. She doesn't enable the small petty crime. She if you're gonna she wants you to go big or go home.
Yeah, but she was still giving him shit too for like the when he was going big, and she did join in afterward. But I don't know. I feel like there's like it's like being like, hey, like wagging your finger at like your person that has like a gambling addiction because he's like playing cards with his friends and losing all of his money, and then like pushing him towards to do like big, the big shit with
Yeah,
gambling, even
pushing
though
him to
it's
go
still
to
gambling, it's still an
yeah, yeah,
issue.
yeah, like I was about to say like you get mad at him for gambling with his friends, but then you take him to Las
mm
Vegas.
mm Exactly. So I mean, like that's why I could also kind of just even in character, like as his character, I could definitely understand like you're giving him mixed signals
Yeah, for
because
sure.
he still sees that the only way of getting money is through crime. That's already been taught, and you're not telling him otherwise.
To be honest, the world itself's kind of establish that like once you're a villain, there's no really going back because the world's just gonna treat you like a villain. TK can't even the dude with telekinetic powers can't even use his powers to fucking unload it,
Yep.
like make it like that. That's so
Apparently, it's
fucking
illegal.
like fuck off, dude. Like if that's the case, yeah, I'm gonna use my telekinetic powers to just fucking rob a bunch of people. I mean, it's not like I'm
So,
hurting anybody.
mhm.
As long as you're not hurting anybody with your powers and you're just trying to survive, and you're not taking from underprivileged people, I can't really get mad at you for using a superpower to your advantage.
Yeah, and I guess it was because maybe like there's some type of weird because he said like the cameras will see it, so maybe like their business gets in trouble. I don't know. I could actually I'm gonna go to B stars for a second. I think this, despite not having like a super established law and stuff, still works because I don't know if there's things we're missing from the was it Jupiter Ascending
Jupiter's legacy. Jupiter's legacy.
Legacy? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Jupiter's
believe we're.
Legacy of
I
like the
think
world,
I think Jupiter's Legacy is
but
like
it
a
makes sense.
family. I think, to be honest, it's like a family drama that's like the only connection is that the Jupiter Legacy's family that it centers around is the main superheroes of the world. I think that's literally the only connection.
But I definitely be like, this is definitely something, and I think also because like we can still, even though there's like, I guess random rules that will come up like that, we can still just apply the rules to this show to like the real world anyway, since they're all humans, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah. There's
somewhat set. I mean, it's set in America and like a, this is established like the only thing that's different is that laws are worked around to the fact that there's super powered beings that hero and villain,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can
That
actually make assumptions of that because there's, I mean, tons of comics where you could actually like even assume that like they go by those types of
there
rules and laws that would
there
go.
there's literally
While B stars, well, with B stars, it's like you keep guessing
yeah,
and
because
grabbing
it's
at the little bits that they give you to try to make sense of everything.
yeah, definitely that definitely makes a lot more sense.
Mhm. This series, I definitely would give I'd give a 5.
Um, I was kind of fluctuating between a 4 and a 4.5, but because
I know there's one thing that seemed to kind of bothered you, though I think the way that they set it up, even with the painting and stuff before of like, because it's not even the first episode that painting gets brought up. I feel like logically the best way that they went was like the fake out with Casey's death.
yeah, I that didn't bother me. What bothered me was the bastard in general.
Mm.
Like I get that he was literally just using his psychic powers to like force it. I guess he was like pressurizing people's
I
skulls or
would.
something.
He has the exact powers in fucking, what is it, scanners. That's what I got from it.
Kinda,
He's
yeah.
got
In
scanner
case,
powers
yeah,
because it was
he's a
psychic in that too.
he's a scanner, and I just wish they would establish that more. They didn't really like. Literally, it seemed like during the series, the whole time it seemed like his superpower was literally just the ability to make people's heads explode, which I'm not dislike. I did not dislike that. I actually found that like to be extremely interesting. Like, oh, I wonder if they're going to explain it or like say that that's just like his that's just what he can do. Like that's
I wonder if he's explained in Jupiter's Legacy too, because I mean he's a pretty big villain, so I think he'd be the villain in that too, right?
uh maybe. Like I said, I think it Jupiter's Legacy is more of a family drama than it is a
Hmm.
it's just about it just centers around a super powered superhero team. We
Hmm.
would actually have to probably watch Jupiter's Legacy.
I'm definitely interested now.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Uh, I just wish they, like I said, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe it is because he's fleshed out more within Jupiter's Legacy,
Hmm.
but they should have accommodated for the people that aren't gonna watch Jupiter's Legacy with just like a scene or two to explain more about him being psychic and not just making people's
Mhm.
heads explode. Because
And
the show
that's
seemed
probably
very
something. Mhm.
the
Go
show
on.
seemed very experimental with its powers and its rule sets for the powers.
Uh-huh.
Because it definitely had like unique superpowers in this. There, of course, you had your usual like the Union of Justice had its standard, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman type
Yeah, the really
characters.
the only one that was really like that was actually like stood out was probably the Praetorian with his like he could get random ones from the cards.
Yeah, and they didn't really explain that too tough because he's also immortal because he's like a Roman.
Yeah, and I don't know if because he definitely seems like he's more established in probably the Jupiter's Legacy thing because he seems to be a part of that.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely part of it, and he has a weird character arc. Like I, you
We don't
called it
see it,
out.
and that's why I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah, you
I'm
called it. You were
wondering
getting.
if it's in Jupiter's Legacy.
You were saying you're getting Omni Man vibes, and I kind of
Oh yeah,
was there at at the last battle, but when he first appeared, it just seemed like he was a normal superhero, and he kind of like flipped.
hmm yeah,
But
because
of course,
wasn't he the one that he spared Johnny
yeah, he
at the in the first fight, didn't
yeah
he?
he caught the yeah he like let them go. He didn't even arrest them or anything. He just like let them go. But
I
that was
don't,
because
and I wonder if
I
that's
think no
something
no
that
no no
if
no 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 no. Casey, I forgot. Yeah, the only reason why he did that because Casey used her superpower on him. That's what it is, and
oh yeah,
that's
that's
why
right.
he had a like dislike. That's why he very hate. That's why he hated Casey because he was able to manipulate him.
That's true. Yeah, that's she brought it out. I wonder if it was rooted in something though, because I don't know.
Maybe it would just been better if they would have connected the bastard's power more to Casey because I didn't really I caught on to what was happening that she was pushing his powers back, but I didn't catch on to why it was until they explained it. And
hmm
I just feel that was kind of bad to do to explain what was happening as it was happening. You should have just
hmm
like explained the bastard had like you didn't even have to say similar to Casey. You should have just showed that he could have done something. He could have done stuff similar to Casey, or had Casey.
I think his psychic powers are just more specific though. It's almost like having pyrokinesis instead. Maybe you wouldn't also have
Maybe,
telekinesis, or I think she just is more into the illusion part of it, like a part of your mind, while he just
maybe.
explodes.
Gotcha. Because she definitely was more into making people mental nutcases instead of like outright killing them.
Yeah.
But
So that's
that's the only,
I can and I can actually like and because this is like a superhero world and stuff like I can actually look past a lot of like stupid comic reasons of like why they do the things they do and have the limits that they have. I can honestly it is pretty easy for me to look past that because like in a superhero world, especially if they're going for I mean if you're going reference wise, like sometimes you're just gonna have that really ridiculous, like doesn't really make sense type of powered character.
yeah, that is true. And since we're discussing it more, I would honestly say the the animation was iffy to me at the beginning, but it really grew on me. Like it was able to grow on me. I really like
It's
this
very
animation.
stylized in a way, yeah. It kind of reminds me a lot of like it's it's not as like finely tuned as Boondocks, but it kind of has that vibe of, you know.
Yeah. It has a uniqueness to it as well. It stands out amongst the crowd as well. Like if
hmm
I ever see like there are certain groups of anime that like are several different anime like most of the, I was turned into a slime and a goddess blessed me and stuff like that. Them anime kind of are very like indistinguishable amongst each other and to this I will
Yes.
always be able to be like that's Super Crooks because of the animation style.
That's one thing I could actually attribute to like Cowboy Bebop too, and Space Dandy, and
Yeah,
of
that's
them just having that unique fucking that unique kind of way of doing it. It doesn't all look like it's like here's how you draw a manga, type of thing.
yeah. It's very hard to explain because it's a uniqueness in a standard way, if that makes sense.
Mm.
It definitely stands out, and there's not an anime to compare it to, but it's definitely has the same formulaic tones that an anime should have.
And it's not musically the music that's played in this isn't part of that genre, but I'd say it's got like that type of almost like Japanese city pop like vibe to it too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh I'm not gonna lie, I was really into the soundtrack of this series. The soundtrack is definitely a banger.
And I guess that's the person who does the music is the one person who wrote. I mean, who did? He also was involved with the show too, but was did the manga uh
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this. And
Apparently, yeah, he was heavily involved, which I'm.
I'm
He's a,
trying to remember because he's part of a famous group that actually did they did a really big '80s sort of one hit wonder. It's the groove is in the heart.
ooh,
That
oh,
song.
nice, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Oh
was part
well,
of that group. He was the keyboardist in that.
oh well, this soundtrack he did a phenomenal job on. I mean, there's not one track that I disliked. The intro, dude. I listen to the intro so much now.
Yeah, it's in
Like,
my it's on multiple playlists.
yeah. I've put it on the I've put it on one of the. You know you're a good. You know I like it when I put it on the card ride playlist.
He is definitely it's in my favorite intros. Definitely, just and the animation in that too is fucking great.
Oh man, I wish they'd play the whole song because it could definitely be its own little like music video.
Yeah, definitely. It's the perfect vibe for it.
And and like that's the only thing.
And
That's the only negative that
mhm.
I have towards the intro is they don't play the whole. It cuts off too soon.
Yeah,
It's like right when I get
that's
into it.
that's a good complaint to have for an intro. That means you're
Oh
doing
yeah,
right.
yeah. Uh, the show has nitpicks, and that's all it has. It has very little nitpicks. The story was tackled in a way. I even I even liked the time skips. They handled the time skips really well. I didn't expect there to
Yeah,
be a time skip, but it definitely when they did the time skip, it was definitely a very smooth progression within the time skip. It wasn't a jarring thing that happened.
it was final, but also it's like this is still could easily like believable of having a second season too.
Oh yeah, that definitely I feel could, especially with how it ended. It just I could say it ended a little too clean for me.
Hmm.
One, I know it would have been terrible. One person, someone, TK. I it would have really sucked if TK died. TK or the
Hmm.
ghost.
Yeah,
Someone should have died in the end.
I feel like the ghost probably would have been the best because he was real skeptical of everything.
Yeah. To be honest though, the best the most impactful death I think, even though it would have been quite cliche for it to happen, would have been the heat. The
Hmm.
Carmine would have definitely been the most impactful because he had the most connection to the group.
Yeah,
I
and honestly he would have kind of deserved it more.
yeah,
But
he
he
fucked up.
drags everyone into it. Yeah,
He
he kept fucking up. It was
he
Johnny
fucked
that
up so
made
much.
everything better.
Like he fucked up so fuck. Like for someone that's supposed to be a mastermind, the amounts the amounts of fuck up that he did was so unacceptable. It's like how
I
was
feel like this. I feel like him being successful was him being teamed up with Warlock and Bastard.
yeah Orlok Count Orlok and the bastard was definitely
Yeah, Yeah, Count Orlok. Yeah.
was definitely the successful ones. And Count Orlok, that's one person that I wished. Oh my god.
We just went out so perfectly though too.
They did set it up perfectly though with him with him like pissing the bastard off by surprising him in
Mm-hmm.
the in
Because
the
at first
flashback.
I thought they were gonna have it so he's gonna swoop in and like maybe even save them or something. But I'm actually really glad they didn't do that. It'd be easy like, oh, let's display the power of Count Orlok. But no,
Yeah,
it was all
that's
for
what
the
I was
gag.
expecting. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting them to demonstrate that even without the helmet, Count Orlok is still a viable villain. But nope.
Hmm. And maybe he was, but he just didn't get a chance to put on the helmet.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. That's what I hate. That's one thing. It seemed like they knew that there were going to be certain attachments to the show, so they were pre-prepared to kill off certain people. Because everybody that I got attached to pretty much died in this. I just didn't get attached to anybody, dude. Dude, I, I, I almost didn't get attached to the gladiator just to save his life. It's like, yeah, I like the gladiator, but I'm not gonna grow an attachment to him because the second I do is the second fucking what's his name, the Patreon is gonna Praetorian is gonna fucking bash him through the
Hmm.
gut or some shit, and he's gonna be dead.
Yeah. Nope, the Praetorian just gets his fucking ass handed to him instead.
Yes, I fucking love that.
Which I guess that I mean it definitely showed like because I mean even when Praetorian realized who it was too, you could see the fear in him.
Yes. And what a great I have to give him props. What a great way to handle an LGBTQ
Yeah, especially with a scandal too, and they did it
like
in a non-disrespectful way.
yeah,
I
they
think
did
perfect,
it.
and that wasn't pandering either.
Yeah, they did it so well. They handled it so well. They just treated him like a normal human being like you're supposed to. They didn't
Hmm.
put him like on a pedestal for being gay or anything. That was just part of his character. And it really I do it is kind of messed up they used it to exploit him, but he was cheating on his husband, so
Yeah, and it feel like he out of that experience he came out better, and he didn't have to live in shame anymore.
yeah he that it was very better for him in the end, and I'm very proud of them for how they handled that character. The gladiator was done really well.
Hmm. For like it's so much character arc for like that we didn't even get to see, but we could still just accept.
Yeah, oh man, it was just what I don't know why, but the scene of him riding the airplane, that scene just
That's
that cemented him as one of my favorites.
how you do it. Yeah, I like his design too. I just
Yeah, he's got a really good design. He's got a really good design. So, let's let's talk about it. They were basically like two Deadpool, two different type kind of Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
The
the Diesel brothers.
yes, the Diesel brothers. What did you think of them? I fucking love them.
I Yeah, every moment with them great, just like even just them fucking brawling.
You just
I like it was
uh,
before you even know what their powers are, like instantly just like him getting his hand like fucking his fingers chopped off.
yeah. I kind of assumed I was like, oh, they must have like regeneration powers or something, but that was
Yeah.
still great. There was a great introduction to them. It's like, oh man, these people are gonna be amazing.
Though I am curious of like what happens to like because he showed them like them when they're going through the laser saws.
Oh yeah, two of them grew. The big one grew two of them. I wonder what
And they
that's
didn't
all
show
about.
what happened with yeah if he shrivels up after or like what
I wonder
or
if
if
they
he
can.
just like one of them kills the other one.
I wonder if they can like multiply like that. That'll be something. Have a whole
Hmm.
army of fucking like they learn that they can multiply and have a whole army of themselves.
Even if it's like, or maybe even if like their clones had like a short lifespan, it would be a cool thing to explore.
Yeah, that definitely. The
But yeah,
only
I mean, I like their. I mean, I like it's funny just like they don't even really have like a villain like name or anything. They just kind of do their own thing. They just live their
yeah.
life. They're big into wrestling and like wrestling themed villains.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They definitely loved the thing. But that just added to their character. It definitely didn't take away and make them obnoxious at all.
Hmm.
Just what a great series, man. This definitely was a series to watch. I
Yeah,
definitely
definitely. Mhm.
I definitely suggest do not binge watch it. Pace yourself with this one. Definitely pace
If you
yourself with
haven't
this one.
if you haven't started Bebop already, watch it with this. And you know what? We also finished the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen. Watch that with that too. That's what we did.
Yeah, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's not. You know what? Um,
Let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen for the last bit.
yeah, yeah. Let's. I I have to say, I know for a fact Jujutsu Kaisen is not perfect. Something
Hmm.
about it just clicked with me to where it's a solid 5 for me.
Curse designs are great in it. I definitely will say like my only thing of it is like you watch it, go and watch it knowing that, and I'm not saying it because I think it actually, and I actually won't spoil what happens, but I think it does like trick you into thinking something safe or going to be a thing. It'll definitely exceed your like expectations that way, but it's still generally in theme. It is a oh shit, what am I trying to say?
Shonen Jump.
Like what drag Shonen Jump, yeah, it's Shonen Jump style. You know, you have your main character. He's got a developing unlimited level of power that he's working on. You know, and then it's but what's fun about it is the characters all around.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, definitely.
it's
I have a feeling that it. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but
mm,
this might be a good explanation. It's a Shonen Jump TV show that loves to divert your expectations.
yeah. Definitely some good comedy in it too. Great comedy in it.
And I love how they're not scared to change the animation for the comedy as well. They definitely will do more comical animation to get a joke across.
Yeah, I give it. I so far from watching it after some thinking about it, I give it a general 4.
Nice, nice. I'm glad you like it. I have to ask. Um, as you know, my favorite character is Toto, and do you want me to explain why he's my favorite character?
Explain.
Hmm. Okay, okay, yeah. You said explain. All right, so if you don't know Toto, Toto is a he's I want to say he's kind of on the same. The show loves creating it. The main character has an unlimited power level, but so does everybody else around him.
Very Naruto.
Yeah, and
At least first season or first part of Naruto, anyway.
but it comes with a caveat that you have so many OP characters that the writers have to do the crux of giving them negative personalities in order to circumvent that overpoweredness, so you don't love that character to an extent. So you're never gonna love an over. The problem with Superman is he's too perfect, and the
Mhm.
problem with people like what's a good villain? Lex Luthor, he's too villainous. You get it? Like
Mhm.
they're too extreme. There's no aspects of Lex Luthor you can like. I guess you could say some variants of him is
Depends on the
handsome.
iteration of them, but yeah.
Yeah, some
Mhm.
some some of his variants can be suave, but that's just that's standard villain archetype is to have suaveness to you. And with
Yeah.
Superman, you're an overarching goody goody two shoe, overpowering, and not many people can like that. With Batman, you have complexity. To he's
Mhm.
not he's a goody goody two shoe, but he's not overpowered. He's definitely weak. So what you
Hmm.
do with an overpowered character, you give them negative traits. You make them even though most people don't
Hmm.
care for the pervy characters nowadays, and it seems to be, you give them a little perviness, or you give them a little arrogance to them. You give them some
Hmm.
traits that people can look at and be like, that's very bad. But then you show that those traits are just part of the personality to make the overpowered person an actual person, instead of just making them a powerhouse machine that's for the plot.
Yeah,
And Toto's a
definitely.
perfect Toto
I
is a
definitely say that, like, even, yeah, Superman's probably definitely the perfect thing of, like, just someone that almost has no personality.
yeah, for sure. It's just nothing there to connect with. He's an alien.
But
He's literally
going
and
on to why do you like, and go more into why you like Toto, like
okay,
still
I just had to,
specifics of his personality.
yeah, yeah, well, he there's there's a gravitas to Toto that he has. He's definitely for himself, and he's not going to take any shit. That's for sure.
Hmm.
You definitely can't boss him around, and he knows it. And also, it gives him that level of edge, to the point where he's very open with himself. I don't
Yeah,
find it negative. Like, it's very fucking on the nose to do, but if someone approached me that, wanted to engage with me and get to know me as a person, it would be off putting and jarring for them to be like, hey, what's your type of lady? But I just feel
and
that
then
they're.
beat you up if you if you answer wrong at
Yeah,
an inch of your life.
that's Toto, though.
Yeah.
but I just feel that person's just comfortable enough with themselves to be open enough to ask that kind of question. I'm definitely not, and I guess I kind of look up to that aspect of confidence in a way. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want that level of confidence to where I can be an outright sleazebag, but he's not an outright sleazebag, because they literally, like, yes, his favorite type of woman is a tall woman with a big ass, but he's a major fucking simp for idols.
Yeah, and he's never pulling any Master Roshi type things where
No,
it's
he's
just like actual sexual assault.
yeah. Even when he's fantasizing about being with it's very wholesome. Like, he's
Yeah,
like
he has a very,
fantasizing. He's
yeah, like
fantasizing
a
that he's like
high
having a,
school romance type of thing.
yeah, yeah, and it's just, to be honest, I find it a little sweet in a way. Like,
Hmm.
this big burly dude has this like weird high school fantasy life in his head.
And that it's how he processes, like, even like
Information, yeah, yeah,
strategizing things too.
and it makes him extremely smart. He has an extremely high Q due to it as well, and it just that, and I love how his arrogance is due to the fact that he doesn't take shit, and it's very apparent. Like,
Hmm.
he, you can kind of get, you can be like, oh, that's kind of out of left field, his intelligence level. But if you really like pay attention to what he does and everything, not really, because he knows combat really well, and he
Hmm.
knows he has a very he has a very deep understanding on how curse energy works, and how just the
he's a
universe works in general.
he's a he's a he's a he's a buff, and I mean he's well shaped, and he has confidence. He's a confident, well buffed, like, of someone that would, like, who's also an otaku.
Yeah,
He has that nerd side to him.
he,
He's got
he's
like the dual sides.
he's a very confident, likable person. It's just something about
Hmm.
him, especially when it's very, when you answer his question, and I don't think you have to answer his question. I don't think your answer has to be tall women with big asses for him to accept you. I think it just has
Hmm.
to be a unique answer, and you have to know what your type of women like. Because I'm not gonna lie, it is very, that's very basic way of saying, "Oh, I don't care for looks. I just care about the woman's personality." Like, get like I'm
Liar.
like you like get out of here. Like I hate to say it, all attraction starts physically.
Yeah.
Every last attraction starts physically.
Unless you're like in the rare case that you are like asexual but romantic.
Yeah, yeah. That's an extremely different that's a different
Yeah, it's a
topic.
specific thing. But yeah,
but
I'd say generally, yeah, it all starts from sight.
and the personality can either intensify or diminish that attraction, but it's always going to start physically. Always.
Yeah.
So you can't really get mad at him. So, God damn it, I keep losing my fucking. All
So
right.
I would say what makes him a weak. What would be his weakness?
The perviness aspect of him, the perviness can, you can draw that out of him. It's,
Hmm.
and the
I guess
fact
we
that
haven't
he's,
seen him. We haven't seen him fight like someone he's attracted to too yet.
yeah, we haven't seen him fight a woman or anything yet, so that could definitely. I have a feeling that he would be able to, because he does seem to be
Mm,
able to be around women without like sexualizing or anything. That's another thing. He's perviness without sexualizing women.
yeah.
That's a big thing because you
Yeah, he's yeah, he's not overly like he stands in line. He does the he does his time.
yeah
He's
he
not super disrespectful. He has things that are appropriate, like when he's meeting the idols.
yeah for sure. He doesn't like, to be honest, he when he's meeting the idols, he doesn't even like do anything like overtly sexual or anything, or it just seems like he has a weird like he
He
it's
is definitely a breath of fresh air of that type of trope of perv. I definitely like that.
yeah he's very respectful.
Mm,
That's very, and it's very unique when it comes to a pervy character. Usually when it comes to perviness, you
they're
just get the,
grabbing.
yeah, they're
They're
grabbing, they're
grabbing.
stealing panties and shit like that,
Yeah.
and they're making very inappropriate jokes, and they always have that weird inappropriate moment where they have their mouth wide open and they're doing wiggling their fingers at a chick. That
Yeah, it's a trope. It's a real embedded trope.
Yeah, I just don't feel he does that. His weakness is the how much he is into himself, to the point
Yeah.
where, but it's not on the level to complete narcissism. Like he
He's
definitely,
definitely not focused on the mission itself. It's sort of like he's doing the mission, but he's doing it with his own. He has
with
his
his own
own like
agenda,
things that are his own agendas going on. Yeah,
because
just pretty much like just ignoring the fact that like he's ordered to kill Itadori.
oh, and he was like, if you fucking order me to kill somebody again, I'll fucking kill you. Like that was great.
He's like, yeah, if I kill Itadori, it'll because Itadori's weak. It'll just happen, and it's gonna happen whether you order it or not.
And
And
unfortunately,
then he's
I
sort of taken the sensei type of role
yeah,
too,
I was
as
about to
well
say,
as
like,
the best friend.
if I have a feeling that the only way you can become his best friend is if you answer it that way. But if you answer it to his question, tall woman with big ass, like that's instant, because he literally fucking like teared up and like came up with a backstory for them.
Yeah, of them being at the same school.
And just being best friends, and then when they are checking on Fugasari in the hospital, he like just pops up out in there and like, that's my best friend and his friends, just like
Mm.
them. It's like you barely even know these people.
And probably, actually, I definitely I thought of a weakness that he's got the fact that other than Itadori, everyone hates him.
Yeah, every single person hates him for some reason, and I wonder if they're going to explain that or if it's just because of how confident he
It's
is.
Yeah, then that's why it's almost like I don't even need a full explanation. It'd be nice to like that spend maybe a scene on it, but you can. just from his personality and how he interacts with everyone and how like lone wolf he is, you could definitely see why people wouldn't like him
Yeah,
because he doesn't cooperate.
it's definitely understandable. I just wish there that there
I
was
wouldn't
like
be surprised if a lot of them got the same treatment when they first met him too, so he probably alienated him that way of just being brutal.
yes, yes. uh but yeah, I don't know. And his power, let's get he has the power to swap two objects, himself including
Yeah, really
places.
make some great fight scenes with that.
Yeah, it makes some great choreographed scenes as well, and just it's very unique because it's not just activated at will. He has to clap to activate it. Thus,
Though
meaning
he can
like
false clap.
yeah, there's a level. I was about to say, that also gives him a level of strategy with his fighting ability that he can
Yeah.
undertake.
And it's almost like I wonder if the clapping is actually necessary or if he just establishes that to fuck people over too.
Yeah, that could be a thing that like he could be so intelligent that he just is strategizing enough to where he and it might be revealed later on like he doesn't have to, and I really hope that that's the
Mm.
thing because I know it would suck, but the it would suck if like he lost an arm or something and that's how he died
Mm.
because he
Or if he just
couldn't
went
switch.
armless for a season.
Yeah, that'd be cool. No, I wouldn't even say like armless. Like if he just went like had one arm for a season and he was still able to.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be crazy if like I know they wouldn't, but like if he's able to like smack his lips or clap his ass cheeks.
That is funny.
And to be honest, I wouldn't put it behind his character to like be put in a tough spot and be like, I gotta clap, I gotta clap, I gotta clap, and then clap his ass cheeks together.
The power of the ass.
Like, because they don't specify that he has to clap with his hands.
No.
He just has to clap.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I just you have to watch the show to be honest, because
Yep.
they
Yeah.
they even give his perviness a backstory, and it's not even like a very jarring or overbearing backstory. They just give like a quick scene that like explains it really quick, and then they like dive off of it, which I'm actually very interested. I want to know more about that chick.
hmm I'd say yeah, if you want to kill almost about like 3 hours, like definitely like do 2 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen, do two episodes of Super Crooks, and do 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, yeah, and do that like every other week.
Mm, yeah, two, one or two, yeah, 2 times a week. I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah, because it's very much. I just enjoy anime so much. I'm enjoying the anime so much better this way, so much better because
Yeah, you don't get bored.
you don't get bored, and it's hard to explain. You get it's like watching the other anime gives you time to reflect on the other one
hmm
and kind of gives you a buffer to think about the anime.
I also think that's like there's those three series have like different things that are great about them to find in anime too. So it's you can compare too.
Yeah, they're also good examples of how you can take a standard formulaic anime and just completely turn it on its head to make it
Yeah.
completely unique into its own thing. To the point where, yeah, if you really want it to be negative, you could be negative and say Jujutsu Kaisen's just another standard Shonen Jump. They have a school type deal that teaches things. You have your three standard team, blah 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 blah. But what they do with that formula and how they mix it up and how they're constantly shifting it, it's just amazing.
Definitely.
And with Cowboy Bebop, you can definitely say that it's anime of its time. It definitely is a
Mm,
character-driven anime, and that was a lot of animes based in that. Like the episode and the overarching plot really doesn't matter. It can matter
mm,
if you want it to, but you watch it for the characters, and it does a unique spin enough on that formula to be its own thing. Cowboy Bebop's definitely a very unique anime,
Yeah, it's its own flavor.
and with Super Crooks, it's it's hard to explain because it's definitely it's it's a way to it's a breath of fresh air when it comes to superheroes. That's basically
Mhm,
what it is. That's definitely because let's be honest. It's 2022. The
mhm.
entertainment market is so stagnated with just superpower, not even just superhero and supervillain, just superpowered. Like if you don't have a superpower, you pretty much don't have a TV show nowadays. Like you have to have some kind of like uniqueness, a unique
Oh,
character with a
mhm.
unique trait to them that sets them apart from everybody else, and that's just like really aggravating. And of course, we have the Marvel just constantly pumping out movie after movie after movie. We're in a we're in a very stagnant field when it comes a stagnant era when it comes to superhero and
Yeah,
entertainment.
and I'll give Marvel one thing. At one point, it was like, oh, it's refreshing to have comics like or comic book movies like even if they have stakes, they're not taking themselves too seriously. But now that Marvel formula, you just see it in everything.
Yeah, everybody wants to copy Marvel, and this doesn't.
Mm.
That's what this is. This is a breath of fresh air in a stagnant era for the
Mm.
superhero entertainment. It's just
I
because
think it's and it shows that even though that like villains exploring villains isn't something new, but I think it just shows that there's a lot more to explore with like villain characters in media than there is of superheroes because superheroes get way too much of like
yeah, to be honest,
it's
I
been done. It's hard to do
yeah
more with superheroes. I think
to
there's more to do with villains.
yeah because it hasn't been done yet, and they haven't been that we and I have a feeling that we're kind of going into because of how the Joker has been
Mm.
overdone, like the
Suicide Squad too.
Suicide Squad as well. I have a feeling that we're shifting into that era to where we're
Mm.
exploring the supervillain aspect of the superhero slash supervillain entertainment,
Yeah,
but I have a feeling that we still have a ways to go. But this is definitely a
yeah,
very,
definitely.
very good. This is definitely a great step towards the right direction, and it's an anime. Like that's something wholly unique. It's a
Mm.
superhero, supervillain comic book thing, but it's an anime. That this is definitely not a cartoon. It's not an adult animation. It's definitely an anime.
Yeah. And not in a weird, distracting way too that makes you feel like he's like, I don't know, I'm gonna put you on my profile on YouTube and type it a bunch of racist stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
About how all these people are degenerates while I have like a lolicon.
No. Okay. All right. So yeah, that Super Cooks and Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, I wanted to um I wanted to ask you. We're still in Jujutsu Kaisen. We got off talk that, but that's relaxed talk for you. Um,
Mhm.
Toto's my favorite character, of course. Who would you say your favorite character is
Hmm.
right
Um,
now at this current time with the information that we're given?
I'd say even despite the little bit I got, I really liked when they did go into his character. I like the panda. I like Panda.
Oh, really?
And I'm interested in the robot guy, but I want more of him before I actually like put him on any, you know.
Yeah. To be honest, he gives me strong Sasuke slash Pain vibes from Naruto.
Yeah. And though I think design wise, I really liked I forget the name of it, but the plant curse, the forest curse with the rose
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, Hanami, I
It,
think.
yeah, I think so. Anime, yeah. That definitely was my favorite fight with Toto and Itadori fighting
Oh yes,
fighting them.
that was amazing. That I let
I have to go back. I have to go back, but I think we actually missed some stuff not staying for the credits because it seems like even though
yeah
that's like them saying like what's gonna happen in the next episode, it looked like they had like some
we
even like original animations.
they do a little they do a little more character. I completely forgot the coat rack guy. He gets a little
Hmm.
more characterization in the
Yeah, I
post
think
credit stuff.
Hanami did too, and I
Yeah.
kind of noticed that I was because of them in a dress. So I might have to go back and like look at that. Maybe
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
that on
I
YouTube, see
complete
if those scenes are on.
Yeah, I completely forgot about those. But yeah, there is a little more characterization. The coat rack guy definitely. That's why I figured you'd like him more. But I completely forgot that most of his characterization's done in the post credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Because
was.
it was something because like typically I avoid post credits because they just show a bunch of stuff that's gonna happen in the next episode. If you're gonna watch it anyway, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the only thing that I didn't like about Jujutsu Kaisen was the post credit scenes, giving some
Mm,
characterization. I feel if you're gonna do that before the credits and just let the credits roll.
yeah, but it is kind of sad because I mean the whole post credit things I do like when they do that because it's people used to watch that on TV to see like oh what's happening next week, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind
That's
of lost
complete.
in that type of trope.
Yeah, that's completely understandable.
Hmm.
So
Though I mean it originally came on HBO Max, so it's almost not
yeah, it's not really explainable, but it does air on TV over in Japan. So
okay. That's probably why.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This ain't a it's an HBO Max original for over here, but even then, it's still on Crunchyroll. It's not even a true
gotcha.
original.
They just like to lie to us like Netflix does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. So we've been going for about an hour now.
Yeah,
You want to wrap it up?
yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right. So yeah, that Super Crooks is a solid 5.
Solid five.
Jujutsu Kaisen is a solid 5 for me.
Solid four for me.
All right. And if you've been listening this long, thank you so much. Please like or comment dislike on the video and share it around. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And go check out some more of our content. We have some
Yeah,
Let's
and,
Plays.
in the comments too, if you have like a cool anime lineup you like, post it.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your dream lineup? What's your dream Toonami lineup?
Post your dream tune line. That's a good thing. Post your dream Toonami lineup in the comment section.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, like I was saying, go check out some more of our content. We got some Let's Plays. We got Loose Butthole Reviews, which is us reviewing movies and and various animes and TV shows. You can go check that out. And we got some more relaxed talks that you can go listen to. So, yeah. And this will be bye bye.
Sayonara.